You've probably noticed it for years now. You pick things up faster than the people around you. While they're still wrestling with a concept, you've already moved past it. While they nod and accept the surface explanation, your mind is 3 steps ahead, pulling the thread they didn't even see. It's not arrogance. It's just the way your brain is wired. And if you've always felt like you think differently than everyone else, what I'm about to walk you through will confirm exactly why. People with extremely high IQs don't process the world the way most do. They have distinct psychological patterns, ways of seeing and thinking that most people never develop. 7 of them, specifically, and chances are, you'll recognize yourself in more than one. Pattern 1. They see invisible connections everywhere. Most people look at the world in fragments. A relationship ends. An opportunity slips away. A random conversation happens at a party. All separate events. Nothing linking them together. But your brain? It never stops scanning for patterns. You see the thread. 3 different people mention the same problem this week, and you're already architecting the solution in your head. You watch someone's behavior repeat twice, and you can predict what they'll do next. It's not magic. It's not even impressive to you anymore. Your brain is just processing connections most people will never notice. And once you start seeing patterns everywhere, you can't unsee them. Even when you want to relax, your mind keeps working, keeps connecting dots. People call you paranoid. Obsessive. They're wrong. You're just experiencing reality through a filter they don't have. You see cause and effect chains that are invisible to everyone else. That's not a choice. That's just how your mind works. Pattern 2. They have a relentless need to understand why. Someone tells you something works a certain way. You ask why. They explain it. You ask why that explanation works. This isn't you being difficult. This is your brain building mental models, understanding the system underneath the system. While everyone else accepts the surface-level answer and moves on, you're dismantling the entire machine to see how it actually operates. The result? Critical thinking that never weakens. It's relentless, and it's brilliant. The trade-off? You're terrible at following rules that don't make sense. Blind obedience feels like an intellectual prison. You need to understand the logic, or you'll question everything. Teachers hated it. Managers find it challenging. But people looking for real innovation, they recognize exactly what this drive produces. You're not trying to be difficult. You just refuse to accept explanations that don't hold up under scrutiny. Pattern 3. They think several steps ahead in everything. A normal brain considers immediate consequences. Your brain? It's already 5-10 moves ahead, playing chess against life itself. You make a decision, and you've already mapped every outcome, every failure point, every domino that might fall. This isn't anxiety. It's strategic depth. You're running mental simulations constantly. By the time you actually act, you've already lived through 100 versions of the future. You've planned around failures, thought through backup plans, considered contingencies nobody else even sees coming. That's why you stay calm during big decisions. Everyone else is panicking about what might go wrong. You already accounted for it, already prepared. The downside? Your brain generates endless scenarios. What looks like indecision to others is actually your mind running too many calculations at once, processing information they don't even register. Pattern 4. They need alone time to function. Not because you're antisocial, because you require silence to think clearly. Your brain is constantly processing information, running analysis, making connections. That mental activity needs space to organize itself. Without enough alone time, you get frustrated, irritable, unfocused. Solitude isn't optional for you. It's essential. A crowded party where everyone talks at once. Mental chaos. Small talk. A waste of processing power. You need deep conversation or silence. Nothing in between works for you. This isn't about rejecting people. It's about protecting your cognitive space. And when you do engage, you go deep immediately. You want to understand how someone thinks, what drives them, what they actually believe, not just what they say they believe. Shallow conversation feels pointless. Some people take this personally. They shouldn't. You just operate with different requirements for meaningful interaction. Pattern 5. They constantly find problems to solve, even when nobody asked. You look at broken processes and immediately start thinking about solutions. Inefficiency bothers you, not in an annoying way. In a this puzzle needs solving way. You create systems nobody requested. Optimize workflows everyone else accepted as normal. Invent shortcuts for processes people didn't even know were inefficient. For you, problem solving is how your brain plays. It's not about recognition. It's about the solve itself. The friction? You get frustrated when others don't see the obvious solution. What's crystal clear to you is invisible to everyone else. You can't understand why people accept broken systems, why others aren't driven to fix things the way you are. This makes you seem intense. You're just operating with a brain that experiences inefficiency like physical discomfort, a constant itch that demands to be scratched. Pattern 6. They're brutally honest with themselves. When something goes wrong, you don't blame circumstances or other people. You do a complete analysis. Identify exactly what you did wrong, what you could have done differently, where your thinking failed. Most people lie to themselves to feel better. You don't, because you can't fix what you refuse to see. This self-awareness is relentless. You maintain high standards because mediocrity feels like settling when you know what you're capable of. But this also means your internal critic runs constantly. You don't need outside criticism. You're already harder on yourself than anyone else could ever be. You know your weaknesses intimately. You face them directly. And while this drives constant improvement, it also creates an intensity that makes others uncomfortable because you're analyzing everything, including yourself. Pattern 7. They manage energy, not time. While other people schedule by the hour, you schedule by mental energy and focus. You know exactly when your brain is sharpest. Morning, late night, whenever. You know when you're capable of deep, complex work and when you're only good for routine tasks. And you protect those peak hours like they're sacred, because you understand something most people never figure out. Time is unlimited. Mental energy isn't. You can't create more hours in a day, but you can waste every bit of focus you have if you're not strategic. So you batch certain work together. Protect your deepest thinking for when your brain is strongest. Use low-energy hours for simple tasks. It's not laziness. It's optimization. Other people spend their lives wondering why they can't maintain productivity. You already figured it out. It's not about working harder. It's about working when your brain is actually capable of its best work. But here's what nobody talks about with these patterns. They come with a cost most people don't see. When you think this way, you can't just turn it off. You can't blend in and accept things the way everyone else does. You're constantly aware of gaps in logic, inefficiencies in systems, patterns other people miss completely. And that awareness, it isolates you. Not because you want to be isolated, but because most conversations feel shallow. Most problems people stress about seem obvious to solve. Most drama people engage in feels completely avoidable. You're not trying to be superior. You're just operating with a different baseline of what makes sense. And the hardest part? Explaining this to someone who doesn't think this way is nearly impossible. They don't understand why you need hours alone just to process your thoughts. They don't get why you can't just accept the answer without understanding the system behind it. They think you're overcomplicating things. You know you're just seeing what's actually there. This is why people like you often feel misunderstood. Not because you're special, but because your cognitive reality is genuinely different. You're playing a different game with different rules. And most people don't even realize the game exists. Here's another thing that separates you. You don't need external validation the way most people do. Not because you're confident, because you've learned to trust your own analysis over popular opinion. When everyone says something works one way and you see it works another way, you trust what you see, not what you're told. This makes you seem stubborn, difficult, unwilling to listen. But you're not refusing to listen. You're refusing to accept information that doesn't match reality. And once you develop that filter, once you learn to trust your own perception over groupthink, you can't go back. So here's what this comes down to. If you recognize several of these patterns in yourself, you're not operating the same way most people operate. You might not have credentials or awards. You might not even think of yourself as particularly intelligent. But these patterns show up in how you move through the world. The real question isn't how smart you are. It's whether you're actually using the mind you have. Are you protecting your focus? Leveraging your pattern recognition? Surrounding yourself with people who understand why you need what you need? Those are what actually matter. Most people never figure this out.